Today we ask gamers the million-dollar question that has always been looming within the community. Who is Stadia for? And is it for you, yes you, now, or at any time ever? Let's get into it.
Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. Oh, I'm not sorry.
What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another Stadia dosage. Before we get too deep into this one, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when your boy's dropping these doses. I appreciate all of y'all straight up. Y'all know the deal. Y'all know the reason why, and y'all know the slogan. I am not too proud to ask. Let's get into it. All right. So, as I said in the bumper, people are asking, MM2K, I get your enthusiasm for Stadia, but I don't see why it's for me. And a lot of reason, and the main reason why I hear a lot of that is because people unfortunately have been bombasted with the idiot herd rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? And even though I say something time and time again, there's only one of me and 1,000, hey, there's another way to say it, but to say it, idiots out there that don't do due diligence, that don't research what they're supposed to research, and they just love to spread lies just to belong, okay? So because of that, the unsuspecting gamer gets lost in the sauce, and that's what angers me a lot. That's why I don't parse any words. I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, MM2K, that's stupid, but no, that's idiotic to me, to not use platforms such as this to grow knowledge, but to set an agenda and to feel like that to have a place where you can belong. But that's neither here nor there. This is going to be happy times, right? Yes, because we're going to answer the 500-pound, and we're going to address the 500-pound elephant in the room, which is, why Google Stadia? Is Stadia for me or anybody besides a couple of, you know what I'm saying, Stadia stands? Well, we're going to answer that question in full detail, and hopefully you'll discover whether Stadia is for you now, Stadia is for you in the future, and in some occasions, quite frankly, if Stadia will ever be for you, it may not. You know, we're going to put everything out on the table. So let's get started. As you can see, this is the third part in the series that I'm running on both of my channels, my MM2K channel and my Stadia Dosage channel here on this platform. Well, I want to say your Stadia Dosage channel, right? And it's called Cloud Gaming Confidential. This is episode 3. And again, it is titled, Why Stadia Over Console? And I was inspired to do this because big up to Lionel Bulgin out there on Twitter. Lionel approached me while I was in my rhetoric and slapping people with the Unity ring that was hating on Stadia, right? And he comes to me and he says, why do you care so much about Stadia? And I was about to be a smart behind and say, why do you care about what another grown man likes? But I said, you know what? Don't do this, because again, people have been unadulterated with the idiot herd babble. So MM2K, here's your opportunity to spread the truth once more and actually put a presentation out there to clarify things. So let's get into it. So in this presentation, this is what I want to do, folks. I want to talk to y'all about the Stadia pros and cons, actually, versus consoles, right? And I'm going to finally address when you should jump in, if you should ever jump in at all. So this discussion, as far as I'm concerned, is broken up into 3 major pillars. Those pillars are price, portability, and performance. Let's first talk about pros and cons in regards to price versus consoles, all right? So pro number 1, we're gonna address all the pros first. Pro number 1, it's the low entry point for max performance. It's only $130. However, to get the max performance on the console, I had to pay $500 and get the Xbox One X. And I still can't do 60 frames per second, and we'll get into that in a little bit on a consistent basis, all right? With that being said, the next pro is, if I want to upgrade from my Xbox One X, I got to pay $500 or $600. After I make my initial investment in Google Stadia, because it's cloud-based, guess how much more I have to pay to get the upgraded specs, quote unquote, to give me better fidelity? $0. So you compare $0 versus $500 or $600, man, oh man, oh man. And lastly, No more buying extra storage, all right? No more buying extra Western Digital terabyte hard drives, external hard drives for all the 100 gigabyte downloads and 300 gigabyte download, all that crazy stuff I gotta download for these games. None of that is a concern of mine because everything is stored on the cloud on Google servers. So again, you're comparing zero versus $75 to $150 if you want a feasible external storage for your console. Now we're going to be transparent here, so we got to reflect on the cons. And one of the cons with the price, or a couple of cons with the prices versus console, is you might have to invest in improved internet if you currently have a data cap on your internet. All right. Here's the thing. Unless you only game in spurts, if you only game in spurts, and I know a few people that have data caps on their internet because they only game in spurts, and that's fine, it'll work out for them. But I'm focusing on the gamer that's going to do maybe anywhere between 6 to 10 hours or more a week in gaming. If that's what you do, I don't think that you can keep your internet with a data cap and do that efficiently. I could be wrong, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. You're going to have to get a plan without a data cap. And in that regards, that data capless plan might be an additional increase of anywhere between $15 to $20. It'll be even more if you just have community internet. And the community internet is everybody in your condominium is sharing internet and it comes free with the condominium. You know what I'm saying? So those are things to take into consideration. Something that my brother had to think about, because when he came to my house to play Google Stadia, he was floored. He couldn't believe how well it was, but he's like, bro, I got community internet and that's going to be a hefty investment for me. And I said, I got you, bro, I understand. So those are the pros and the cons, but as far as I'm concerned, the pros outweigh the cons in that regard. Next, we're going to talk about portability versus consoles. And what I mean by portability, I mean portability inside your house and outside your house. Whether it's flipping to a different screen in your house or lugging hardware with you, where in some cases you ain't got to lug nothing with you when it comes to Google Stadia, especially if you're going somewhere else where there might be a web browser there. But we'll get into that in depth. So let's do that now. First and foremost, when it comes to portability and just roaming around your house, you ain't got to worry about loading, all right? When I'm playing Google Stadia, I've side-loaded it on my FireCube TV. Ain't no loading. But when I boost up Xcloud, or you know what I'm saying, or a console-based streaming service, if there's loading on the console version, there's going to be loading on the cloud version or the console streaming version, all right? It still has the same old setup, okay? So there's no loading if I want to bounce around the house with Google Stadia, right? There's no loading at all. Also, it has the most intuitive GUI, or graphic user interface, on even smaller screens. It's very simple. It's the same everywhere. You just basically got tiles with your game on it. You press the play button, boom, you're in there. Boom goes the dynamite, right? Very simple, very easy to use. Also, as I mentioned earlier, as far as, you know, carrying hardware with you, like say if you're like, oh man, I want to play CCU quality, the Chromecast Ultra quality, I'm going over to my homie's house. I'm gonna bring my CCU with me. Lot easier to port. You can put that thing in your pocket. Put it in your pocket, take it with you, right? Opposed to having to lug your console in a book bag, it might break, all that other stuff. There's not all that heavy lugging and all the crazy cords that you got to connect and all that other stuff that you got to do. Very easy to port even at that. And with that, let's just say if you don't want to bring your CCU with you, just want to bring your phone, it's the best looking cloud service on phones, period. Nothing looks or plays or performs like Google Stadia on a phone to date, period. And for those of you that have Nintendo Switches, some of you don't realize that with these larger phones, not even the super large phones, but some of the larger phones, the screen is just as big as your Nintendo Switch screen if you're looking at the screen only, without the Joy-Cons. You know what I'm saying? Without the Joy-Cons and just the actual physical screen. So you get the same, you know what I'm saying, dimensions there, which is great. And you get it at better fidelity, better resolution, all right? So there you go there. Now here goes the cons when it comes to portability. The official device support is limited. What do I mean by that is there's more devices that are quote unquote said to be supported by Xcloud and whoever else than Google Stadia right now. And that's because Google Stadia has a quality over quantity approach. They want to make sure that your experience is the exact same and it is phenomenal no matter where you're at. Xcloud, they really don't care about that. They just want you to be able to boot it up. So they say that it's not easy to load Google Stadia on a plethora of devices like it is Xcloud. But you don't play games just to load them, right? You play them to play them. But nevertheless, still it is a con that is not on more supported devices. You can side load them, but for those that don't want to do that, you know what I'm saying? That is definitely a con right there as far as the amount of devices supported at the time of this recording. And lastly, I want to talk about performance versus consoles, right? So the performance pros is you get great performance, like I said earlier, on a browser. You know what I'm saying? For those of you that have seen my Twitch streams, that have been part of my streams, where I definitely played Ghost Recon Breakpoint and even Destiny on a browser, on a Chrome browser. It looked great and it still performed better than my world's most powerful console, okay, on a browser. On top of that, great performance, you get 60 frames per second in the balance mode, and that's the ingenious part of this. You could do they have a quality mode and a balance mode for every single game, and they have that at the platform level. And I think that's a smart thing because some games don't include those options, you know what I mean, in the original game set. But Google Stadia has it at the performance option, so therefore whether the programmer puts it in there or not, in the game menu, you can get a balance mode. So if you're all about them frames, you're gonna get them frames, all right? And it's like a flat 60 frames per second. There's plugins that can show you such, all right? Also, very low latency. Like I said, my brother was very interested in this platform. He wanted to get it, but he has community internet, and he couldn't believe that he wasn't on a dedicated device. He couldn't believe it, and he's mainly a PC gamer. So I'm telling you, the very low latency. And Digital Foundry early in 2019, I believe it was, around March of 2019, I think it was, actually did some testing, and they found out that the latency from the Google controller to the game was less in some games than it was for the Xbox One X to the Xbox console. So you got that to think about. The technology is fantastic. It wasn't for every game, but it was for some games. But that says a lot for a cloud gaming service, all right? Now here goes the performance cons. You get better resolution right now at the time of this recording via 4K on the Xbox One X, all right? Now, Doom Eternal, I wanna know, I'm gonna put an asterisk here. Doom Eternal is coming out soon, close to the time of this recording, and they are boasting, or they have boasted 4K 60, true 4K 60, because a heavy part of Stadia is Vulkan, and Doom was developed via Vulkan as well, right? So because of that, it's supposed to be true 4K 60. But for the majority of the games that have been out on the platform so far, the resolution is best on the Xbox One X. And in addition to that, there's better resolution and there's slightly better textures at launch. Google Stadia has better anti-aliasing, meaning the surfaces and the edges are smoother, a lot smoother, but the textures that are on the Xbox One X right now slightly are better than what you get on Google Stadia, you know what I'm saying, on the games at launch. Now again, a lot of these games were ports, but it still don't matter. It is what it is. Even though the games are going to get better as people start building games from the ground up, it is what it is right now, all right? So what is the conclusion? Who is Stadia for? Well, I say Stadia is for these people. I'm gonna break the people that it's for into two groups. The people that it's for now and the people that's for in the future. The people that it's for now is tech enthusiasts, people with decent internet, people who love games in the current lineup like myself. Like I love playing Borderlands 3, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I still got to finish Darksiders. We got Division coming soon, and I got Doom Eternal around the corner. Serious Sam, those are the games I will be playing anyway. And a lot of these games are exclusive. Like, I don't think the new Serious Sam is out. I could be wrong on any other platform. Could be wrong, but having Serious Sam is a plus right now because I get to replay some of those games and you know, get them remade in order to play them. And I play them in a great fidelity and the perfect frames from Google Stadia in comparison to consoles, that is. All right. And it's for people that are into multiple units. You don't mind having multiple units, that's fine, as far as gaming units. No attachment to the old games on prior platform. Look, I just want to put this out there. Google Stadia is making an effort to get some of the more beloved older games in recent, you know, history on the platform. It reminds me of what Xbox did with the OG Xbox backwards compatibility. They have some of the more popular games from that era that they're making backwards compatible, but they're not going to bring everything. And the same with Google Stadia. They're not going to bring everything. Just I would say the most cared about games, which hint, Google, I'm hoping that you bring over BioShock Collection, please. But you know what I'm saying? That's what they're going to do. All right. So if you also have no attachment to physical possession, meaning you're not one of those people, I own my physical game, which is false, you know, but that's a whole nother video. If you're not one of those people and you don't have an obsession towards physical games, this will be for you. And if you're a traveling gamer, you know, you travel from state to state, city to city, you don't want to be lugging serious hardware with you, just bring your laptop, whip it out, bring out any controller, play it on a browser, great fidelity, or play it on a phone or whatever the case may be. In the future, it may be for people that are still holding out reasonably. In the future, it'll be for people that, again, with decent internet, people interested in future games lineup. Like they see that Baldur's Gate and they're like, oh, wow. Okay, I want to get into that. You know what I'm saying? And whatever else Stadia has coming down the pike, like they got Uplay Plus integration coming soon. And there seems like there's going to be a lot of cross-generational play and cross-progression with that. Amazing. So people that may be interested in that might want to keep an eye out for that. People that want a low entry point when the next-gen consoles come out, if you don't want to pay that $500-600 for $130, you invest in it now, you get great performance and you get even better performance once the new set of consoles coming out, because they said they got their hardware on deck, baby. You know what I'm saying? Again, no attachment to harder games, no attachments to physical possession. And then again, if you're a traveling gamer, this is something that you'll want to look out for in the future. Now, this is who it's not for. And we got to be honest. There are just people that this will never be for. It will never be for gamers who play on physical media only. I gotta own my devices, you know. You don't own any games, but again, I digress. B, people with data caps without access to Wi-Fi. If you have data caps at home, but you say, oh, I just want to use this as a travel system when I'm at work, and you got great Wi-Fi at work, wherever you travel to, great. Or if you're a traveling gamer and you got access to Wi-Fi and you're like, okay, well, I just want something to take with me on the road, then fine. But if you not only have data caps, but you don't have access to Wi-Fi, you know what I'm saying? That endless Wi-Fi, this ain't going to be for you. And lastly, C, never relies on online gaming for multiplayer, DLC, or patches. Hey, look, there's some hermit gamers out there, some that I've run into on the internet. A lot of them are lying, but I can tell when the ones that are lying opposed to the ones that are telling the truth. And these people never go online. They never download anything. They just play the game as it is out the box. And nowadays with day one patches, that must be a horrible experience. But if they like it, I love it. All right. So if you're one of those type of gamers, you most likely are doing it for a reason. The internet is evil and of the devil to you, and you don't want nothing to do with it. So therefore, it doesn't make sense for you to get into cloud gaming. So with all that being said, that's it, people. I hope you found this interesting. I hope you found this informative. And if you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, rock those bells. And this is where you can find me. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv MightyMost2000. You can catch Scrampunks and Stadia Dosage via PNTS Network at pntsnetwork.com. And this is a typo here. I should have fixed this before I went live, but you know me, One Take Moss. Broadband Bullies, you can check us out at broadbandbullies.com. And with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.